This is We Are Horrorible with Bria and Charles.
Ooh-wee. Welcome to the newest episode of We Are Horrorible. Tonight we have a special episode planned. Unfortunately, our dearest Charles Malcolm could not be with us to be my faithful and loving co-host because he is currently doing the Lord's work back home in the homeland of Seattle. He's moving around boxes. You guys are getting your packages all because of Charles. So
thanks, Charles.
So instead, I have this lovely human with me by the name of Scott Allen. He is many, many things. Producer, musician, horror movie aficionado like myself, super fan, and probably the most important thing, my boyfriend.
Of course.
So you wanna say some things about what you do for this lovely production company?
Oh, if you guys listen to our other podcast, the BANGover podcast, or the interview series, or any of that stuff, that you'll know that it's always me there at the other end, Scott Allen. And yes, this is my first horror movie one. I get to produce this, never really talk on it, so I'm excited to just sit back and make some snarky comments and drink, because we get to record late at night. It's something that I'm not used to.
Shocking.
And every time I record my podcast, it's too early for my blood to be entertaining.
Yeah, we're sitting in the dark.
I sound more entertaining right now.
We're drinking some whiskey. We got this going on.
But this candle is for energy and productivity.
I think it's hippie bullshit, and it doesn't matter. It's a flame. It's a candle. It's setting the mood. Anyway.
I do apologize in advance for any squeaky stool sounds. We're sitting on some drum stools over here. And if I fuck this up, I'm going to apologize to Charles in advance. Right now, anything I might say or do or fuck up.
Funny,
so
kids,
I apologize in advance. So now I'm free from any responsibility.
What's funny, kids, is that Scott is totally used to being on stage and hosting things. He just hasn't done this one yet. But that's okay.
I'm excited, yeah, because
part of what brought us together.
And it's not my podcast, so I get to just sit back and hear a story, and you spin a weave, and and I drink. I get to drink.
Yeah,
I didn't have to introduce us.
We get to do what we do all of the time, and that is talk about horror movies. You get to talk about music all the time. I'm there sometimes. We get to sit here and talk about horror movies
all the time. So this is no different, other than us sitting here with some what are these things called? Headphones.
Oh, by the way, I didn't introduce myself.
You're really bad at this.
I know. Usually Charles does the introductions. I am Bria Beal.
You should have told me that. I would have took it.
Bria Beal. I wanted to introduce you. You were important. By the way, this is also very different because he's sitting here in front of me. Usually it's like having a long distance conversation with Charles. Yeah, this is...
That's your sound?
Also, my tooth is bothering the fuck out of me. But yes, I am your host, Bria Beal. I'll be here as I am all the time, talking all the things about the horror.
Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end. Jesus, don't horror yourself yet, you fucking slut. Anyway.
Find us on YouTube, BANGover.
As you mumble into the background. You're such a great whore. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about some real life fucking horror stories real quick just to get the conversation flowing. So, big old fucking banger back home in the homeland. West Seattle, some kids doing a fucking what seemed to be an innocent TikTok video. Opened up a suitcase to find some body parts. Cool. That's real life. That sucks. Amongst the world being on fucking fire, some kids found body parts in a suitcase.
So serial killers do still exist.
Therapy for the rest of their lives.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Got some horrible things that have happened to you? I got more. I got a list.
We were talking to our friends yesterday, and they were like, we love TikTok. And I'm like, that some have seen.
The lively.
Yeah. I keep seeing like an ad for like a TikTok porn thing. It's like TikTok or
It
porn.
doesn't
And I'm
matter
like,
of time.
I was like,
Porn invades every fucking media platform.
We all know amateur porn is
It took you.
It's
How long are we in? It took you fucking 30 seconds to be talking about
sometimes
porn.
it's better
Now
than
you
the
know what
porn
I have
stuff.
to deal with. Anyway.
It's a quarantine. It's just porn and
fucking,
podcast and horror
also,
movies.
speaking of the quarantine times, that we live in Austin. This is coming from Austin, Texas. It's awful here. It's grown exponentially in the past month. 400%. That's a real number I saw today. That's terrifying. Of hospitalizations have increased 400%. So we're living in real life hell. That's great. Also, I had a nightmare the other night about surviving this shit. I went to bed thinking about someone breaking into my house, which would take a lot. They'd have to break down the door, avoid my giant dog. And I was like, all right, what if I'm in that situation? What the fuck am I going to do? I have a giant metal Eiffel Tower in my room. Yeah, it sounds stupid, but it's actually cool. I could easily take it apart and bludgeon someone to death with that.
So just grab the top piece and...
Yeah, that was my fucking horrible, semi-realistic nightmare the other night. I also did laundry drunk, and I put away everything in the wrong place. I didn't tell you about that. I couldn't find shit for like 2 days.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How drunk?
I don't know. I just distracted myself, and I was like watching TV, and he reaches for the whiskey.
Damn ridiculous.
By the way, fun times.
How?
Let's explain this real quick. I live above you. We live in the same apartment complex, same unit almost. I just live above him. This could be a show, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it just could be called Above You.
We can like change our status on profile to it's complicated.
No, then we get a lot of questions. I don't want to deal with that. Yeah. Anything else horrible? Horrifying?
Well, you said like how y'all always start the show. Y'all.
Charles is bad at this part too. Y'all suck.
Y'all. I was gonna be like, oh, you mean the goddamn horror that we live in as this pandemic goes on with the super virus that's destroying the world? Kind of like a horror movie-ish. I don't know. Are those apocalypse films horror movies? Is Mad Max kind of a horror movie in some ways?
I mean, it's terrifying in some ways. Survival movies and terrifying in a lot of ways. Yeah.
I was kind of thinking of that. Like, the new game just came out, Last of Us, and it's kind of like this, I don't know, I think it's a super virus. I've never played it, but...
Well, that's a main theme in every horror movie, right?
You know?
That's why we have Final Girls, is
the zombie
surviving.
thing, too, sometimes.
Yeah.
Not zombies.
So we are, in the sense,
whatever.
we're living in fear of our safety. We have never had to deal with anything like this. This is every day, walking outside. I'm back to work, you're not.
Yeah.
But coming into contact with the public and, depending on how you minimize it, but you are in essence fearing for your life in a way, whether it not be ever present directly or in the background.
Well, since you already said that, I was going to make a joke about it, but I was also going to say something else, something horrifying. It was like something I watched recently. Today we recorded our Deathtones episode. If you don't know the BANGover podcast, we just do albums' birthdays. And
album anniversaries, album
I
birthdays.
I always go to YouTube to find a lot of my quote-unquote info. But I just typed in Deathtones White Pony. And one of the things that popped up was, this is weird, they made a short film of White Pony. And it's super dark. It's like an apocalypse situation. Everyone's wearing respirators because they can't breathe the air.
This is before the album or after?
After the album.
The Deftones made?
Yeah, it's a short film.
Okay,
they didn't make it. Someone else made it for them. You've seen Change, House of Flies music video?
Okay.
Pieces of that short film.
See, this is where
make
your
up
talents
that
lie.
music video, by the way. Yeah.
That's weird.
So there's like an 8-minute one, and it keeps like having these weird scenes. Like there's 2 people having sex, but everyone looks like they're covered in grease and oil, and they're wearing respirators, like gas masks, and they're just having sex.
That's
and this other guy
that just makes me feel uncomfortable.
It's
in a
very
way,
9 Inch Nails, like.
But not in an uncomfortable, like I don't want to
90s.
watch way, an uncomfortable way, like I feel sticky.
It's just like a weird type of horror movie thing where like it keeps this other guy's like watching this television screen with all these broadcastings of like atrocities or like a state of address, and in between you flicker in, and then here comes Deftones out of nowhere, just them playing like hard as all hell, and it keeps switching in and out for like 4 songs, but they don't play the whole song, and it's really freaky. It's only 8 minutes long. Just go to Deftones, follow Deftones Live, and you can find it.
For how much of a music fan you are.
Follow Deftones.
You always...
New album coming out.
Babe. See, this is going to also be hard. I can't call you Scott, by the way. That's something that I've been like racking my brain.
You're going to need to
hold. I've been racking my brain of how to stop and call you that, because I only call you by your name when you're in trouble. I just say babe because I'm that fucking person.
I think you got to say my name when we're talking, on here.
Anyway, for how much...
For everyone else's sake.
Yes. Dearest Scott Allen. Yeah.
For all you fans out there, I'm looking out for you.
So, anyway, what I was going to say is, for how much of a music fan you are, I love you, but you never say Deftones. You always say Deftones. Like death. It's Deftones.
I can't hear the difference. I think I lost an octave playing drums for so many years. I don't know. By the way, he's a drummer.
You do a lot of
Everyone knows that.
No one knows that. Nobody fucking knows that. Yeah,
all the people listening right now know that.
Time.
I'm actually pretty well known.
Drummer okay. All right. His cock grew 2 inches that day.
Follow me on Scott Allen 133. That's my Instagram.
I said the end. You sluts. I will give you 5 minutes to promote yourself, because that's how long it will take to explain everything you fucking do.
All right. Well, I apologize in advance already, so I'm not at fault for anything. But do you want to start getting into
let's get into some meat and potatoes. So this movie, we have not said it yet. It is the Green Inferno.
Yay!
Yeah, Green Inferno. So many allegorical things with this movie. And
the cannibal films.
Yeah, cannibal
films.
Well, the now times, though. Green Inferno, fucking surviving, fucking having to eat humans. I don't know. I imagine the worst scenario, like you're talking about apocalyptic situations. Like, am I going to eat this person today? I'd rather eat a person over my dog.
Well, that's more like that movie Alive, but
I know. I'm just saying.
If you clicked on this, maybe most likely you watched this movie.
Hopefully, or you're getting into the cannibal genre. It's a very small. This is, as we discussed earlier. This is a very small subgenre. It is
like 10 films deep. I don't know.
What in cannibal?
In the
horror movie history?
Yeah.
No.
Less.
You're only talking about a subgenre of Italian horror cannibals, where there is a lot of cannibal movies. It's just that. So in essence, to define this, why he was bringing this up is because this is a direct homage to Cannibal Holocaust, and a lot of people who are familiar with horror movies or exploitation movies in general, you're going to know the name Cannibal Holocaust, whether or not you have seen it. It was very famous for the outrage that it caused, the brutality, just the scenes that were depicted in it, and the terrors that were enacted on animals. I'm not going to talk too much about Cannibal Holocaust because I would like to cover that movie later on. However, this is a direct homage to it. Eli Roth, the director, is a very big fan of Italian horror, and this is where that genre comes from directly, is the subgenre of Italian horror, specifically talking about cannibals. There are other cannibal horror movies. It's just that this is the Italian subgenre, whereas this movie is not in that specific genre, just an homage to it.
Right.
Sorry for the lengthy explanation, but yes.
Well, and maybe just point out the fact that inside the movie Cannibal Holocaust.
So yes, where the name comes from is inside.
It's a movie inside of a movie.
Inside Cannibal Holocaust, there is a movie in it called The Green Inferno. So
a movie?
Definitely, like I said, a direct emphasis on direct homage.
Mm-hmm.
Different plots, but still similar in the aspect of Amazon, fucking rainforest, fucking cannibalistic tribe.
Almost a remake or maybe a part 2.
I will not say why it is not, because like I said, I would like to discuss Cannibal Holocaust at another time, but the plots are very different.
People eating people.
It's people eating people, but it's different. Yeah. You're making me explain this. This is what I was afraid of. So Cannibal Holocaust is actually like a found film, so they They go to rescue people. They find this cannibalistic tribe. They find this documentary that was being made. That's Cannibal Holocaust. Green Inferno, we're going to talk about the plot in just a second and how it differs. But anyway.
It differs in so little of ways where if you were remaking it, you would make those sudden changes.
It's not a sudden change. The whole plot revolves around the people trying...
Maybe a sequel, maybe like the Blair Witch Project. A found footage film, but the sequel was an actual movie. No?
No.
Oh.
So these people purposely went to South America, where that's similar in Cannibal Holocaust as well. The original plot with Cannibal Holocaust is people are going to South America to make a documentary about this tribe, and then end up being fucking eaten. And then the movie centers around...
But they were horrible people and terrorized the natives at first.
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't observe their customs. But then a rescue mission is going on to find that film crew, and then they find the film that was being made, the documentary that was being made. Whereas this is about protecting a specific tribe, and it's about all these, people fighting for a cause, and hey, I'm a fucking young 20-something-year-old, I'm good looking, I'm white, and I live in New York City, I'm gonna go fucking save some shit. Which is actually specifically what Eli Roth said. He's like, I love seeing these people get fucking murdered. People that just...
It was like college kids.
Yeah,
they know.
Yeah, that's exactly what Eli Roth said in a fucking interview about this movie. He's like, I loved watching these people fucking get eaten and destroyed, because... It's directly a play off of the fucking all the protests and stuff. All these people, not currently, let's avoid that, not currently, but other protests where people have been wanting to fight for a cause, and it's just like you pick okay. Best example is in the very beginning of the movie is there's this group of people fighting for janitors' insurance. That's the thing that they're fighting for.
Janitors?
Yeah.
Insurance.
It's
We're talking about the beginning of this movie?
Yeah, it's health insurance. It's health insurance for janitors. She wakes up to hearing Alejandro, the main character who is inciting all these protests, yelling about how they're going on a hunger strike for health insurance for the janitors at the college that they attend. That is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Finding these little causes to fight for because you feel like you need to be part of something. So watching these people get fucking destroyed, because it doesn't mean a lot to them. These fucking kids are fucking posers. Like, they just want to do something to do something. That's what the whole thing is about. You're looking at me like you're afraid.
No, I
got something to say?
I thought they were bitching about the rainforest at first, but...
No, it's janitors' health insurance.
Wow, they're really selling the fact of, I don't know, spoilers, that they're full of shit.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of funny because it's like, of course you would fight for these human rights or be like, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. Don't cut down the rainforest. But at the same time, like, we'll get into it more and more, but it's just like...
You want to start explaining the plot?
You know what the plot is? I think season 2 of South Park.
Oh, right. It's gonna be
like getting gay with kids, where they go to the rainforest to try to save the rainforest, and they get trapped out in the rainforest. And at the end of it, the teacher's like, "Fuck that place, burn it the fuck down." And that's what I was expecting.
It's entitled
it's like,
white
save
kids
it, and you're like,
who
"Oh,
don't
fuck
know
this
what
place, fuck this place,"
who don't know what they're getting into, and that's the perfect thing that can lead you into this movie. It's entitled white kids that don't know what the fuck they're getting into, and then they get royally fucked in many different ways. So, without further ado, let's get into the scenes of the movie.
Act 1.
So at the beginning, like I said, very, very first though, the very beginning scene, you see aerial shots of the Amazon rainforest and bulldozers, and you're like, all right, this movie is, it's obviously to do with destroying something.
It opens up
if you don't know anything about it, you already know in the first couple seconds that it is going to be about destroying of trees and possibly humans. So then it goes to scenes in this obviously well-to-do uppity fucking college. I don't even know what college it is because it doesn't.
They don't say. It's a pretentious one. I'm sure.
They don't specify. But these are kids that are like, their parents are fucking UN lawyers. The main character, her father is a UN lawyer. Who, by the way, that actor that plays
Her father.
Her father is in Hostel, which Eli Roth also directed. And
I was like, maybe it's tied in together, but he wasn't an asshole. And
Right.
he worked for the UN, so...
He's actually really nice in the movie, and it's funny because even going back and rewatching that, I was like, oh yeah, isn't he a dick? No. It's because he made such an impression on you in Hostel, how much of a fucking asshole he was, that stays with
you.
you.
Shit out, too.
What?
He couldn't do it. He freaked out and he ran out,
but
and
he's
then they
still
were
a
like,
dick.
you can't.
Okay, we can't talk about Hostel because I want to. Hostel's one of my favorite, and that's why I also don't want to talk about Eli Roth too much. Just know that he did films like Cabin Fever and Hostel, and that's what really put him on the map. And I'm a huge fan of his. He's one of my favorite horror movie directors. I think that he has a very keen eye for horror in general, shots specifically, and he uses predominantly FX makeup. So thank the Lords that there's still one out there that does that.
I mean, yeah, we'll get into it at the end, but he's done more than you think, you know?
I know, I'm just saying the big bangers.
Yeah. And it's really the movies that he wrote, you know?
I'm a huge fan.
Just let him direct maybe sometimes, and you can see what he can do, you know?
He produces a lot of things, but his take on horror is very specific. He tries to embody...
Make you throw up?
Yeah, it's very much the gore porn side of horror, which I know a lot of people, even the strongest of horror movie fans, sometimes have to shy away from, and I understand. But again, it is that attention to detail with FX makeup that makes it fucking brilliant. And this is so important, and I really want to stress this point because there's a lot of FX artists out there, and stress artists. They're so good at what they do, and a lot of people would rather just do they would rather do CG.
It's cheaper.
I understand.
It really is.
But it looks so... And that's why he's
Nowadays.
known for those scenes, and that's why he's so good at that gore, because that's what he uses. And
that's what we love,
as a relatively newer horror movie director, when you look at the span of horror movies, I'm glad that he's carrying that on. He's wonderful. Anyway.
True.
So getting into the movie...
We see some kids.
They're in their college dorm.
You see the tribe. They see the bulldozer flash over New York, some pretentious ass college.
There's this protest going on for janitor's health insurance. It
wakes her up.
The final girl. Why are you ruining this? I thought I was gonna have to tell you to speak more. Now I want you to shut the fuck up. Yeah, no, the main girl is the final girl, but her name is Justine. Very fucking white privileged name. Sorry, I know a few Justines. You guys are nice, but come on. But
wow. Putting it on record. We still recording? Still running.
But yeah, so she wakes up and her roommate also wakes up. Her roommate is the kind of leftover emo alty, very... I got into this school because I am into the graphic design portion of it person. And she's actually the smarter one. She's the one that points out, hey, that those kids are just fighting for a cause that they know nothing about because they would like to feel something. And she disagrees. She looks out the window. She sees this protest. She sees the guy who is leading it, whose name is Alejandro. He is the biggest fucking douchebag. And she develops a thing for him. So then she is going to class. She's talking about this. I'm
just thinking of Tenacious D, like singing in Biodome. It's like, I just want to, say some motherfucking trees. I just want to say some motherfucking trees. Just playing acoustic. It's like, I just want to, give back rubs and stuff. Save the rainforest.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. But
oh my God, it's like a cult.
Yeah, yeah. Activism in your early 20s is very cult-like.
Yeah. So she kind of has a thing for him, and then we follow to her like, okay, I'll come to one of your meetings.
Well, what happens is a guy from the protest group, activism group, rather, goes up to her and says, hey, saw you paying attention to us.
The big dude?
Yeah, the big dude. Jonah.
Poor
baby Jonah.
Sweet
Jonah. He has a thing for her, and he goes up to her and is like, hey, you might want to join this. Like, come to our next meeting. And she's like, nah, man, fuck that. But she's nicer about it. And he's like...
She has bitch face.
Yeah, but she's like, no, not really, whatever. And then he's like, yeah, but Alejandro asked me to give you this. And she's like, ooh, all right, well, Alejandro, that means...
Oh, he has an accent.
Yeah, he seems fancy. Yeah, he has an accent. Where are you from? He's from South America. Actually, a lot of these actors and actresses are from South America.
That's kind of a
Chile,
split
Peru,
film.
Argentina. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it first came out in Peru before the United States.
Jeez.
So there's that. Came out a year before.
What's their sense of humor like? Were they just laughing about it too? They're like, "This is great comedy."
I don't know. I was going to touch on that fun fact about people laughing at it at the end. So,
Just wondering if it's just everyone's reaction to this around the world, besides for us. We're like, ugh.
I mean, it can be looked at as a comedy too, I guess. But if you don't take it literally, it's so over the top, and that's the other thing with either Roth makes these things really big, really big and bright, and here's fucking blood and body parts in your fucking face. So it can be seen as like, wow, it's a lot, but also funny, I guess. I don't know, to some people.
So we see Alejandra.
Anyway, so we see. Oh yeah, we do see Alejandra.
She comes to one of the meetings.
Yes.
She's like, "That sounds fucking stupid," because he's like, "We go."
He's like, "Yeah, what are you gonna do?" No, her quote I think was, "What are you gonna go do? You're gonna go stand by the tribe and starve yourselves?" And then he's like, basically scolds her, says that she doesn't take it seriously. She is asked to leave.
You must be a freshman.
Yeah, must be a freshman. What's a freshman do? What are you, a sophomore? Like, you guys are only years apart.
Is he like, in college?
What are you, fucking? Even if you're a senior, you're what, 3 years older than her?
I don't even know school.
Okay, well.
Maybe he might have been in it for 8 years. He's like, I'm going for.
Maybe he doesn't even go to that school and he's just coming back to recruit people to join his activism group.
That's what I was thinking.
Gross.
Yeah. Never seen him in class.
Prey upon innocent women.
Does anyone have Alejandro in any of your classes?
Is he a ghost? Is he dead?
Yeah, I don't think he actually goes to school here.
He doesn't even exist. Find his obituary.
No, I just thought he was a con man from the get-go.
Fuck.
So she bitches, walks out, next day, apologizes to Alejandro.
We do need to touch on the fact that she is in class. They talk about, amongst all the activism things that are going on, she does attend this class. I think this is like a cultural anthropology class. That would be my best guess at it. But they're talking about...
Yes.
Yeah, it's because I took cultural anthropology.
Go on.
You're welcome. Or CA, as I abbreviated it, because I was that person. Which I was probably her same age, I think, when I took that. Anyway. So, the important thing is it's setting you up. She's in this class, and it's a big auditorium style class. And they're discussing female genital mutilation. It's so hard for me to say for some reason. Not because it's disgusting, but because female
because you have a vagina.
No. It's not because that. It's just like the words in that order. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. But anyway, FGM, as people refer to it as.
Another abbreviation.
Yeah, but that's true. That's like what it is abbreviated as internationally. So it's FGM. Yeah, exactly. So it's easier to fucking
Maybe you should say the full thing so it really does.
Genital mutilation.
Maybe you should say it like that because that would really strike it every time. Where you're just like, yeah.
No, you only have to hear it one time and then you remember it as FGM. Okay.
Right on that one.
So, which is for people who don't know, I'll just go over this.
Have you ever seen
real quick?
What is it called? Antichrist.
Okay, well, pretend that people have not seen this. Okay, so yeah, it's bad. But FGM is something that is observed culturally around the world. Unfortunately, it is still a problem in some countries where it is a rite of passage. A young woman, her clitoris is removed. There's that. So they discuss that for a little while, and it shocks her enough for her to think about it and go to the meeting. They also discuss the ant ordeal, which is another rite of passage with young boys coming into manhood, where they sew bullet ants into gloves and make the boys wear it for at least 5 minutes, and this can take place for days or months, and they have to withstand this pain. And bullet ants, by the way, are fucking terrible, and they sting you and you become paralyzed. So those are the things.
Yeah. So I think it only takes like a couple bites and you're pretty much...
It's not bites. Stings. We discussed this.
Oh my god. I didn't know. Does most ants have stings?
No. The answer is no. That's why you're saying bites, because most ants bite you.
Oh, okay.
But these ants sting you. They're weird. They look like wasps without wings. Oh yeah, really quick. Touch back on real life horror story. Forgot to tell you this. Yesterday, outside smoking, I'm so excited about it. Fell on my shoe. one half step and it would have been on my head. The biggest wasp I've ever seen. It had to have been like, what is this, a fucking inch and a half?
Was it red?
No, it was yellow. It was giant. Yeah, maybe a little red. But it fucking fell on my shoe and just spun around in a circle like a fucked up helicopter. I wanted to help it because I'm a human and I
no.
But yeah, but no, I know.
It's evil.
I know. I was terrified, but it could have fallen on my head. It was so fucking terrifying.
There's like a swarm of killer wasps out there roaming, creating horror movie-like situations.
Get your camera.
No, I don't even want to go out there and be like, stung one time, I'm done.
What if you're allergic?
I know I'm allergic.
You know you're allergic?
No, I'm sensitive skin, so. A sting? Fuck. One flea bite, I swell up.
You weren't meant for this world.
Not at all.
You're so lucky that mosquitoes don't like you because there's a real life horror story out there in Texas, guys. It's humid, and I went out there for 10 minutes earlier and got bit 3 times. I think I have over 30 fucking bites on my legs.
Yeah.
Anyway.
New conspiracy.
Let's get back.
Spreading coronavirus.
Yeah? Mosquitoes?
Because they're drawing from one person and then going to the other person.
Nope, that's not real. Don't do this.
I just made that one up off the top of my head. That's how easy it is.
I know, and that's why people should do their fucking research.
That's true.
Anyway, so now she gets asked to leave from the meeting.
You must be a freshman.
Yeah, I know, that douchebag.
And then, what's his name again? Poor sweet baby?
Jonah
runs after her. And
is like, hey, please come back, come to the
Thanks
next one. He just
coming.
takes it really seriously. Yada, yada, yada.
Next day, sorry, Alejandro. I didn't mean to be a bitch.
Yeah, I know. She apologizes.
And then,
she begs to come back. She has the meal with her dad.
Telling I'm gonna go over and chain myself up.
Well, they have a discussion about her life and what she's thinking about doing and how she used to be very talented at the flute. She's a flautist. Hate that word. Flautist.
She's a flautist.
That's where that necklace comes from. She has a necklace that was made by it was made from her mother's silver. And at the end of it, the little charm is a tiny little flute that actually works.
Go to college for anything.
This is an important fact, by the way. It actually ends up saving her fucking life. This little flute necklace. But her dad asked her where it is. And she left it in her dorm room because she didn't want to wear it because she's not a flautist anymore, whatever the fuck. But she's talking about being an activist and all these things. And since her dad is well connected because he's a UN lawyer, she eventually after the meal, she goes home to pack to leave. And he says, he gives her like the president? What is the ambassador? Somebody high up in the Peruvian government gives her the number and is like, I'm texting it to you right now so that she can talk to him about vaccines or something. It's a small part of the movie. It's just that this is an example of how important he is in the overall structure.
Yeah, her dad?
Yeah.
For God's sake.
It matters.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
I didn't even think about it till now.
No, it matters. The whole reason. Anyway, I'll explain why.
Okay.
Yeah. So, they go and they fucking whatever. It's a bunch of shots of like they're on a plane, they're excited, they're young, they're getting into the city. They take cars, they take like these little motor cars, and they meet up with this guy who seems to be very wealthy. He looks like all the things. He has a fucking goddamn gold necklace. He has fucking aviators. He's from South America.
He can get weed.
Yeah, and they
you need some weed.
Rightfully so. There are a couple of jokes about him being a drug dealer or being involved with drugs or whatever. They mention like, oh yeah, just because he's wealthy and lives in South America doesn't mean that he deals drugs.
He got that weed.
All right, but he was asked to get weed. He was like instantly produced it, basically.
So fast.
So yeah, they have a meal before they go deep into the Amazon rainforest, sitting down talking about all the variables of what can go wrong, safety issues, anything like that, and it all seems fucking terrifying. I would absolutely say no and stay in the city because I'm a smart human. Also, really quick, let me backtrack for just a second. I've explained this a couple times in earlier episodes. There are several moments that I like to call be right back moments. And the first one of this is right before she does leave, when she's getting in the cab to go, her roommate thinks that she is 100% wrong And she goes, well, I think you're 100% whore. They have a nice little joke about it, whatever. But that is the first be right back moment. And what that is saying, hey, don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm going to be cool. I'll be right back. I'll see you in a bit. Which you know is bullshit.
She's like, hey, wait, Jennifer.
Her name's Justine.
Yeah, Justine. Never mind. I'll see you later.
No, but she does say, hey, I think you're wrong for doing this. And she says, whatever.
She's the smart one.
Obviously. There's always one. There's always somebody that warns somebody. There's always a main character that says, no, I'll be fine.
She saw through that bullshit from the get-go. You need to talk about this.
Yeah, so if you're ever in a real situation and somebody is like, hey, fucking don't do this, and you're ever
it's her roommate.
I'll see you in a little bit, don't say that.
What's her roommate's name?
I called her Alt Girl. I don't remember her fucking name. I know that her boyfriend's name, who's in it for a second, is named Scott. Just
immediately see Alejandro and it's just like, this guy's full of shit.
Yeah.
And
then, he looks like he's made of shit.
Final girl's all like, well, I don't know, maybe. I'm a freshman.
Is that what freshmen sound like?
And now they're in fucking Chile.
No, they're in Peru.
It's in Peru? I thought it was in Chile.
We just discussed this.
Okay.
The filming locations are mostly in Peru and Chile and slightly in New York when they're filming the college and those scenes. But the predominant area is Peru.
Right, duh.
So...
Here we go.
Anyway... This is where it gets weird. So they're getting into the fucking forest. They're going deep ass into the Amazon. And I mean, this is like where there's nothing. It's just... By the way, the worst hell that I could ever imagine on Earth is the fucking Amazon rainforest. Yes, it's beautiful.
Green Inferno.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yes, it's beautiful. It's meant for animals. It's not meant for fucking humans. Everything can kill you. Real life horror movie there all the time. The whole cast, by the way, this is one fun fact I'd like to include, had to get tested several times for viruses and if they got bit, anything like that. Everything that exists in nature that can kill you flourishes there. Flourishes there. That's why no one fucking lives there, except for these tribes that know how to fucking deal with shit like this. And their life expectancy, they don't live to 100, they live to 30 and call it a fucking day. So...
Damn, for real?
Yeah, a lot of people who are that old, there's not... They have no health insurance.
So they
don't have doctors.
All the old people in the village were probably maybe 40?
I don't know the exact number.
70.
But people don't live as long as we do. There. I mean, it's a miracle probably if you make it to 60.
I thought it was one of those weird places where they don't have cancer or anything. They just kind of age how wood does.
Well, maybe not, but think about everything that can kill you. Fucking insects and snakes, and you can't even swim in the water because of fucking alligators.
They probably figured it out a long time ago. Maybe that's what all that cannibalism's about. Superpowers. Ooh. No?
No, actually, what happens to people who are cannibals over time, it's the same thing with mad cow disease. You go crazy from eating literally yourself.
That's not very good for you.
What?
It's not very good for you.
What happens is it eats your brain. It eats your brain.
Of course, this is zombie shit.
Yeah.
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 Just wanting more. Brains.
Well, except that the disease in that aspect would be the zombie because it's eating your brain. Anyway, so
here we go.
So anyway, they're getting into it. They park the boat, they take off all their things, their backpacks and their clothes and stuff, and they put on these uniforms, their gray shirts that have a university U on it.
Underneath their jumpsuits, because their whole idea is to disguise themselves as the construction workers.
Well, they have these shirts that they put on that say #SaveAmazon, which is hilarious because Amazon.
I feel like they just zipped them down once they got there. And
then they put on these construction suits and helmets because this whole thing is the premise of what they're doing is they are saving this tribe from this group of people who are mowing down these trees, mowing down the land that this village is located on because there's some sort of natural. There's a gas. They're drilling for gas or something there. They only say it one time.
I thought it was just the wood.
No, they want gas. That's what it's always about. Oil. oil.
It's,
something like
they
that.
They don't even say it.
They
I
say
thought
it
it was
one time.
just cutting down.
No.
For
It's
lumber.
something to they're knocking down
Oh,
everything to
it's
drill.
Ferngully.
No, it's not Ferngully, man.
Oh.
But anyway, so they make it to the area of where they are. The construction workers are stationed. They chain themselves to bulldozers and the property, the trees, and things like that. And these people, the construction workers, have mercenaries.
Yeah,
completely different
what
thing.
What movie again are we doing?
There is something about missionaries I'll mention later.
Yeah,
but now I'm just gonna keep thinking that mercenaries.
Yeah. They say they have a team of mercenaries.
Yeah.
And we could get shot or killed.
This is Alejandro's voice.
Yeah, I was making it British for some reason, but I remember he's like Colombian.
He's fucking Peruvian, dude. Peruvian. Well, in real life.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Continue.
Anyway, so Alejandro. I just think it's a fucking Lady Gaga song, which is funny because this is around the time that she was coming out.
Anyone that doesn't want to do this can leave now.
Yeah, he's very serious about it, but there's a reason why he's so serious and why he's so confident in it too. Well, I'll get to it in a second. So, so they're chaining themselves to equipment there, bulldozers, trees.
Yeah.
This is the plan because they can't bulldoze all these fucking people, and they're filming them. They have cell phones. This is 2013, so yeah, they have the internet. They're streaming it. They all have this. They all have a streaming service that they're hooked up to. Yeah, exactly. Viral videos.
And guess what?
So the girlfriend of Alejandro is a cunt. and
a good way to put it.
She fucking is. But there's this whole plan in
Real
place.
Bitch.
Yeah, well, she's jealous, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And she seemingly is doing this out of spite, but there is a reason I will reveal in just a moment about why this is happening. So, anyway, Justine, everyone's given a lock, everyone's given a chain. Justine's lock doesn't work. And the whole point of the locks is so that no one can be taken. You're chained up to a fucking log, you're chained up to, or a tree rather, you're chained up to a bulldozer, and you don't want these mercenaries coming up to you and
what a
prying
tree
you off
hugger
of
does.
it and taking you away, because that is something that certainly could happen. So her lock isn't working, and one of the mercenaries takes her out of the chain and holds a gun up to her head. And so then Alejandro starts yelling and saying how her father works at the UN, and, you know, this is all being live streamed and all this stuff. And then she realizes that she's being used. She has purposely, her lock was not locked. She had a faulty lock so that she could be the bait, so that the point could get across, because no one wants to fuck with a child of the UN. She has a powerful dad. He's a lawyer.
We explained this earlier.
Yeah. So that's why he's important in that.
And they knew that.
They all knew that. They all went to school together. Yeah.
And her lock doesn't work. They unchain her, rip off her mask, put a gun in front of her.
Yeah.
We're live streaming this. And then one of the assholes was like, shoot her.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah. Rewind that. Go back. Go ahead, shoot her. I was like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
So
she's being used. She's being bait.
And they're like, oh fuck, he gets a phone call right away, one of the mercenaries.
Oh yeah. Don't kill this person because we'll be fucked.
Yeah.
So then they let all of them go, and seemingly they fucking win. The cause is out. The video
put
is
him back
streaming.
On the plane.
They get back on the plane. They're all celebrating. They're all drinking.
Exchange of money and passports.
Yeah, exchange of some shit.
What's going on there?
Also.
And then Final Girl's pissed.
Well, she's pissed because she's realized she's being used.
She has a good bitch face.
Yeah, she just realized that she got brought on. That her life was at risk because of how powerful her dad is.
Everyone's just like drinking beer. She's just like,
this is rightfully so. So
yeah.
So then this
risked her life for this bullshit.
This is about 40 minutes into the movie, so it's kind of a slow burn. Nothing.
It's 100 minutes long.
Yeah, exactly. Which is weird. This is about 40 minutes into the movie, and so it's kind of a slow burn. When I was talking about horror and how Eli Roth has this very not subtle way of being in your face. It's a build up. So, all right. So
Man,
here is
40 minutes.
But
Talk about being impatient. This is go on.
Here's the turn, though. This is where it gets horror movie very quickly. So the engine fucking explodes in the plane. It goes down rapidly. This is a couple second shot. Everybody's fucking freaking out. Obviously, the plane
out of nowhere, nothing even happens.
Out of nowhere, the plane's engine explodes, and the plane barrel rolls. The scene is people being turned upside down. Poor little baby Jonah throws up, and it goes everywhere because of gravity.
Yeah,
yeah. And so, people are freaking out, and one person gets straight up ejected.
Well, the back of the plane just breaks off.
Yeah, and then one person was still strapped in their seat, and they go flying out of the plane.
One of the girls.
Mm-hmm, one of the girls.
And then that shady fucking dude, what's his name?
The drug dealer, not drug dealer. Yeah. I don't remember his name, but yeah.
The cool guy.
He dies.
Fucking flies out as well because he's too cool to put on a
but the first
seatbelt.
The first real scene of horror is the pilot gets impaled. There's like a tree or something that goes directly into the windshield as it goes down.
Fucking head.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of Final Destination.
It's his style of just making you want to fucking bite your fingernails.
But this is the first bloody. You now know what you're getting into because of the amount of gore that is displayed within the first gore scene. It is his fucking head ripped apart in a fucking second with this whatever log tree fucking thing that goes to the windshield and goes directly in his fucking head. It basically splits him open and decapitates him at the same time. So now you know you're really in for it. So plane crashes. They're in the forest. They're trying to figure out what the fuck to do because plane crash and they're trying to find their GPS. There's one, I'd have to say my favorite character is Daniel. And he's the guy with the GPS. And he's the only, clear thinker in this whole movie. He's that guy. He's that trope of, all right, we can, and he's thinking clearly, we can do this. I'm a survivor type of person. Tries to find the GPS. It's actually in the pocket. You find out later it's in the pocket of Alejandro's girlfriend. And she also, she dies, how does she fucking die? She gets put up on a fucking tree.
Oh my god. So everyone just falls out that, crash land. Yeah, 2 people already fell out.
Oh, I know how she dies.
And then everyone gets out.
I remember.
And we didn't even talk about the dummy, the blonde dude that was and runs in the propeller as it's, lobbing. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my god, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a really stupid scene. And he goes to look for something and he walks directly into
the And then Alejandro's bitch-ass girlfriend, notices someone.
That's right. She notices something in the distance, and she gets a fucking arrow through her neck and then through her head.
We need help. And then fucking arrow through the neck.
Yeah, and then through her head.
Down.
She has 2.
Yeah, and then he's trying to help her, holding on, saying something. He's kind of being a weirdo
really
about it.
Slow about it.
Yeah, and he's saying something where it's just he's not even crying. So it's
this is also, by the way, really
and then the arrow straight in the head.
When they do crash initially. She can't. The thing that she's worried about is getting her seatbelt. She can't get her seatbelt off because it's stuck. That's the thing that she's worried about. Before when the plane crashes, before they all get out of the plane, and Alejandro's like, "Is everyone okay?" And clearly they're dead people, and she's fucking stuck in her seat. You could just cut the seatbelt or wiggle your way out of it, but that's not the thing to be worried about.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, I was like, everyone better back up from that plane, and it just fucking explodes.
And then it explodes again, yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I know, when cars do that, that's more of a real life. Yeah, unless it was the 70s, but a plane, I know nothing about that. Jet fuel is probably way more flammable.
Actually,
right?
I will double check.
Right.
I have a source. I can just talk to my dad. You guys don't know this, but my dad built planes for a long time for Boeing. I should just ask him.
Will a plane explode after the fact?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't know.
In a crash? I don't know.
I don't know if it would just explode the first time. And I don't know if it would explode. I can imagine it would explode on impact, but maybe not after. I don't know. I'll ask him. Question I'll clear up for the next episode. Anyway, so the tribe has now discovered that they have some visitors, and the tribe slowly encroaching on them. And as we said before, they shoot not one but two arrows through Alejandro's girlfriend. She's the only one that dies directly
everyone else
at that
gets
moment.
a dart.
Everyone else gets a poison
dart. And then we wake up to, like, what are they called again in the movie? They're like the tribe.
It's their village. They're in a village.
Okay.
I mean, the villagers...
Is that what their people are called as well?
No, they're called, their tribe name, it's Yaras. It's Yajas. I'm not even going to try to continue to pronounce it. It's Yaras? Yaras.
I'm going to pull the mic further away from you and try to say it.
No, you just sound like you're casting a spell.
Yajas. No? No.
No. But anyway, so, these tribal members are obviously, you wake up to they are now in a bamboo cage. And
they're putting us in the pig pen.
Yeah, and they're obviously hostile. They're all, by the way, let's paint the picture really quick. This is a very remote area next to the fucking Amazon River. And they're all painted in red. It's as tribal and as villagey as you can get. They have huts that are made of hay and bamboo, and they have pigs. I
assume that was the color of their skin.
No, they're painted red.
I didn't know that.
That's not a color that exists in real life.
I don't know. I don't judge people. I don't see color.
How high were you when you watched this?
I don't see color. That's my superpower.
You sound super white right now.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it though. That's what I'm saying.
They're painted red.
I didn't think that they were painted, other than
there's a guy,
the warlord and the witch doctor, obviously.
Well, she's not a witch doctor. She's just an elder. But okay, so
I call him like a seasons.
No, she's not a witch doctor. She's an elder. She's the one that makes the decisions. So let's talk about that too really quick. So yeah, the structure in the tribal community is that what seems to be everyone is equal except for you can call her a witch doctor, but she's not. She is an elder. She has specific markings, specific piercings, bone through her fucking nose. She's painted in black and yellow, and then like her fucking helper, minion, as you called him, warlord dude, is also painted in similar colors and has a giant bone through his nose. And it's
kind of like in the opposite. He's like darker on the outside and yellow.
But they're both
on the
what I'm saying is they're both painted in black and yellow, whereas the other tribe members are all painted red and then have some black on them.
Right.
But anyway, so in a bamboo fucking cage, trying to figure out what's going on. Poor Jonah gets taken first. And they lay him down, and you're like, all right, what the fuck is gonna happen? And this is probably my second favorite death scene. Spoiler alert. Death scene in the movie. This is where you really see
Jonah. No,
Jonah.
He accepts it. Oh, hold on. I have to say this. For whatever reason, they put everyone else in a cage, but they take Jonah to the side, and they're just like laughing and putting their hands all over him.
You know why he's sedated?
And they're giving him a drink, I guess. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
With the powder, they blow powder in his face.
Thank you. Well, that was after he drank that thing, and then he lays down.
They give him water.
And then all these guys walk over like Oompa Loompas and fucking hold him down, and he's like still not saying anything until she's like rubbing his face.
So the elder comes over.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, wait a minute. Wow, I'm not having it. And then eyeball.
So she has a
delicious eyeball. So good that she goes for a second one. He only has two.
How does she explain?
With her little finger hook thing that she loves to penetrate people with. It's her knife. It's thing.
Like a claw. It looks like it was taken. It looks like a tusk.
Sacred blade.
It looks like a tusk.
Yeah, it looks like a tooth of an animal.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah.
But
for God's sakes.
Yeah, so it's like
one eyeball, two eyeballs.
She hooks eyeballs. Yeah, she takes the eyeballs out of Jonah.
Eats it, and then goes for the tongue.
And then cuts off the tongue.
Yeah, and then here we go. Warlord comes in with his
also a bone.
It's like
bone
a hip.
knife.
it's like a hip of an animal that's sharpened.
Yeah.
And then just starts
Hacking.
One arm, two arm. I watched this movie with someone one time where they literally just were freaking out as they were watching that scene. We put it on at the bar, like just in the background, because we can do whatever we want at this like really small, like self-owned, like, you know, not franchise bar. And people were like, that did look up at the TV screen were just like, holy shit, because it's such a long scene of the eyeballs, the tongue, the arms. I was like trying to make like coworkers watch. I was like, you don't want to miss this part. Look up. And like, ew, no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Eli Roth doesn't ever fail to disappoint in that gore category.
I think he like created a puke meter or something like that.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
People vomited, you know?
Yeah.
But it's always just like, nail biter every time.
It's like, this scene is like, it's very torture porny. It is very like, all right, fucking all the gore. All of his limbs are hacked away. The body is still fucking struggling. And as we mentioned, by the way, he should have gone into shock way before his limbs were removed.
That's okay.
But this is horror. This is a movie. These are things. Either way, great for film. Yeah. And again, great FX on the decision-making part of Eli Roth. And I'll talk about the wonderful FX artists when we're done talking about the synopsis. So, after that, Baby Jonah, sorry, buddy. Also, he is unfortunate.
And then the head comes off, and then they fill up a little bowl of blood and take a little sip of poo.
They cut off his head, they put a fucking apple in it like a pig.
Yeah. And then they stuff his like torso and then put it up in like a smoke shack.
It's for
Yeah, they cook it for like 12 hours. Probably the most tender.
And I want
Jonah.
I want to believe that this is a coincidence.
Delicious.
But Jonah is pretty big. He's a pretty big guy. And I only thought of the entire time, as soon as I learned his name, you know what the first thing I thought of was?
Might have liked a Big Mac or two. No, that's well-seasoned meat, if you ask me.
The first thing I thought of with Jonah and him equating like how big he is, Jonah the whale. Oh. I know. I want to think that that's a coincidence, but I don't think that it was. That his name was Jonah.
I think it's like a trope in horror movies as well, that the softest person goes first. It's always the guy that's like, hey, stop fucking around over there. I'm not joking. I'll tell someone, and then boom, dead.
He's also...
he couldn't handle it.
Also,
he would go like schizophrenic if he saw someone else die. He would seize up and couldn't want to say this,
but what's another reason of...
He's a soft little baby rabbit.
You're not getting my head. He's a minority.
Jonah?
Yeah.
See, I don't see color.
Okay, that's the thing in horror movies, unfortunately, is...
I didn't even know that.
He's black.
Is he?
Yeah.
Very light skin.
That's a very... Let me say really quick. You need to rewatch it. That's a very,
Netflix kept fucking it was so pixelated.
Trope in horror movies is that minorities...
Thanks, Netflix. Fix the fucking quality, by the way.
Minorities pass away
Netflix.
first.
Why would you say that during
But that's the thing. But you know what else, though? This is...
I said because he was a soft little baby flower.
Wait, but let me say something really quick. To that credit, Blumhouse made this. This is... Blumhouse also did fucking Get Out. They're on the forefront of changing opinions with that specific trope. So let me backtrack really quick with that. Like, I know that's really unfortunate and that's awful to think about. And horror movies, like, sometimes they're painted in a bad light, and there's a couple of reasons, and that's one of them. But Blumhouse is turning it around. So, thank you.
Did they? Because that was the first person they killed.
I mean, more recently, like I said, like they did Get Out, and they're partnering with a lot of different people.
He was so, I don't know, but he's just a soft character.
He's soft-spoken, he's sweet, he's all the things.
Had a brain aneurysm right there. I'm so sorry, folks. But that's why I thought he was the first one to die. And then everyone is like, because they're all reaching out at the people in the cage too as this is happening. So it makes the whole thing freakier. Because you waited 45 minutes and you were like, what the fuck is with this movie? And then you see the most horrific thing that you'll probably see throughout the entire movie. Like, that scene is probably more horrific than any other scene that's going to happen. In my opinion.
What?
Jonah. Because he was the most innocent.
Jonah dying?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's
Everyone
terrible,
else
but you
is
know
just,
that he's
well,
going to go
that's-
the most innocent person that usually does, too. I mean, like...
They're just like all
Unless
freaking
they're the
out.
final
Oh
girl.
my god. Yeah.
So,
Cut to the next day. Stuck in a pig cage.
Well, they're all still stuck in this fucking cage, and
how many are left at this point?
There's the lesbian couple, there's Alejandro, there's Justine, there's Daniel, there's what's the stoner kid? The red-haired fucking stoner kid.
We'll call him Spy Kid.
He has a name. He is
We'll
Spy
call him
Kid. He is Spy Kid. I didn't even realize. He's worked
with some really good directors.
I've seen him in some shit.
He hasn't done a movie in over 6 years.
Dude, yeah, he is Spy
crazy.
Kid. He's the dude. He's the fucking. Oh my god, that hurts me. He's a stoner kid in this movie. So anyway, lesbian girlfriend chick.
Oh, redhead, so hot.
No, but the blonde
one immediately shits her pants.
Shits her pants because she's on some sort of drugs or she has some sort of problem where she needs to take medication and she's not feeling so well.
She's made pills.
So she completely fucking shits herself everywhere in the goddamn corner. Everybody's laughing. The tribe members are laughing. It's disgusting. They don't bring it back up. It's just a funny thing for just a moment.
Yeah.
And then the truth comes out about everything. Alejandro talks about how it was all staged, how that this was actually they were in no danger. They made a deal with everyone, how they just wanted to make an impact and show the world what was going on and how this was still going to continue regardless. So the bulldozers
Maybe
are actually...
if we didn't destroy the bulldozers, they would have came and knocked down these assholes for trying to eat us. Oh, well, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so now in actuality, this is just delayed and these bulldozers are headed right for them, which is good for them because now they have...
But this is when Alejandro says, well, that's not completely true. You think we could really save this place?
You're really heavy on this.
I work for a company.
You're really heavy on
this. He just works for a company that was going to like take over the project instead. So take this one out.
He doesn't work for them. He made a deal with them.
With the other guy.
The fucking drug dealer dude.
The drug dealer dude.
Yeah. Because he's connected to people.
Wish we had a better name for him.
His real name doesn't...
Fuckface.
Yeah.
Oh, fuckface
so the
with
truth
the
comes
sunglasses.
out, they're all like, holy shit, we didn't know, but now we're going to be
you're a
rescued.
piece of shit. And everyone wants to kick his ass, besides for the blonde girl that just shit in the corner and was like, no. For whatever reason. Yeah, but everyone got mad.
She doesn't care. She just wants to survive.
Yeah. And Final Girl's already not having it. She's like...
Her name is Justine.
I'll never remember the name. She's ready to stomp his face out already.
Well, yeah, because he treated her...
Already used her as bait, you know?
Yeah.
Set her up. Like,
set her up.
Fucking...
Set her the fuck up.
And then he's like, you don't think they didn't sabotage our plane? And so the whole conspiracy unravels there. If we're explaining it very shit-oly, then just watch the movie. You'll get what I mean. But Alejandro's a real big piece of shit.
He's a real big piece of shit.
He's the true
this,
villain.
And then this little girl,
we find out who the villain is.
Who is part of the tribe, comes over and is talking to Justine. And this is at the time, so Justine brought that necklace I said previously with her and pulls it out and plays a little flute for her.
But I thought that was after they painted her white. No.
The girl comes up, they exchange a look, whatever, they have a connection with the necklace and things, and then now we are on the scene, this is a very important scene. Some of the tribe members come over and they take the woman out of the cage, the three women, the lesbians.
Dropped in drawers.
And then the final girl, they are made to their bottoms.
She's using her little finger claw that
she's using her finger claw
to Jonah's eyes.
Yeah, let me explain this part. So
can I explain?
No,
I like penetrating.
You fucking know how to follow that. Anyway,
I apologize in advance.
Okay, so that doesn't give you fucking carte blanche to do anything.
We're talking horror.
Anyway,
I digress.
So the woman. Comes up to the girls and takes her like bone. It's on her finger. It's a finger claw
thing.
Tooth.
It's a
whatever
bone.
it is. Whatever it is. And puts it up the pussies. Puts it up the vaginas to see if they're virgins.
And that's such a crazy like.
So.
It's almost like make them up. So
what's crazy is
how
at this
are you actually
moment,
gonna prove it like that? But
at this moment,
she's an old lady. She probably knows what she's talking about.
at this moment, you now understand that Justine is going to live. And now you really understand that she's fine out because she's a virgin. She starts bleeding.
And plus the camera's been on her most of the time.
I understand that, but you now, as a horror movie fan, know that she's going to live because she's a virgin. Virgins don't fucking die. Unless you go against the trope.
Unless it's, some movies.
Name a fucking horror movie where the virgin actually dies. Besides Sacrificial, okay? Because that's different.
House of Thousand Corpses. I don't think she was a virgin.
It's not real. Yeah. I'm not even going to try this with you. Anyway, so...
Teeth. Boom!
She doesn't die.
Of course. She's the one that's the monster.
I said name a movie in which the virgin dies. That is a horror movie.
Oh.
That's what I thought. So, moving on from that.
Cabin in the Woods.
That's a trope on a trope, though. That doesn't count.
You said a movie.
That's structure. I need a fucking gavel. Order in the court. Order in the court. Anyway, so, okay, she's a virgin, and now she's going to be... You start to understand what's going on. They're going to prepare her for what I was talking about earlier, with female genital mutilation, FGM.
It's kind of like this movie set up everything in the beginning to tell you what's going to happen before it happens. So when you go back and watch it and you're like, they have no idea.
So Daniel mentions how...
such a classic horror movie.
Daniel's talking to Alejandro while they're in the cage, and Daniel's understanding what is going on, and he looks at Alejandro and says they're going to take her and they're going to cut her, and she's probably going to die of infection, and Alejandro goes, more time for us, basically. Because this is what a piece of shit
Daniel's the... probably the best person in this movie.
He's the best person. Yeah. So, also, right after... so now we're at the point where they're discussing that women return to the cage. The main lesbian chick, the redhead with all the tattoos, decides to try to run for it. They distract the villagers with a cell phone, and then she escapes out of the top of the cage. She tries to run. She was a track star.
But this is after, they powdered white that
they
bitch.
paint Justine white because she's a virgin.
Like, what did they do to you? She's like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
They put an alien inside of her. It's going to pop out of her chest.
Now you're just saying things. Let's keep on.
It's conspiracy. I don't know.
Keep on point.
Yeah. Redhead escapes. Did she make it? So you see her running down the beach and then jumps in a boat and it's raining, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's the last that you see of her. And then what happens is they give the villagers, the tribal members, go up to the cage and they pass out bowls of food. And you're obviously thinking that this is probably a person, but Alejandro goes, it's pork scraps. And then the girlfriend of the lesbian blonde chick that shit herself earlier is eating and notices that there is one of her girlfriend's tattoos in the bowl. It's a piece of skin with her tattoo on it. And then she looks around. Yeah.
The shit pants.
And then she looks around and sees that these kids are playing with these pieces of skin that have tattoos on them.
They're wearing them on.
So then but what I love this scene because she doesn't stop and go, hey, it's people. No, she just smashes the bowl and fucking slits her own throat with it real quick. Quickest fucking death scene. Just immediate fucking reaction of, oh my god, I'm eating my girlfriend. Kill me now. And she does. She fucking kills herself. So then, fucking, what is it? Spy Kids. This is fucking, I don't know his name. But anyway.
Spy Kids.
Yeah, Spy Kids.
He has your throat. They're like, no.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy. That's like one of those crazy death scenes. But I think everyone dying in this film is supposed to be like, ugh.
Well, no, he has the idea to take the weed that he procured from the drug dealer and put it down.
And it's such a weird scene where they're using the stick.
They use a stick to shove this bag of weed down the girl who just committed suicide throat. So that when she's been being taken away and then, subsequently fucking eaten, all these villagers will get high. Because they got a smoker, and the smoker first, the cooker, and then the smoke, pot, whatever. I don't think it was enough to get a whole fucking tribe, village high, but whatever. And so now...
They were all, gathering around, their smoker, their clay pot smoker. Yeah. They're like, woo!
They're all laughing and making jokes and eating people. They're having a great time.
Alejandro's like,
They're having
you
a
don't
party.
think these people haven't smoked weed before? They eat weed for breakfast.
And then Justine says, better weed than us.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
So it actually works.
It works, yeah, they get high. And then
everyone's having a great time.
Daniel
It's actually
and...
the funnest part of the movie by far.
Now you're left with 3 people.
Oh, it's Cannabis Holocaust.
Real movie.
Cannabis Holocaust?
No, there's...
That might be one. But yeah.
There's a movie that's fuck, I'm gonna have to look this up after the episode.
Just a joke instead of a joke, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's Eli Roth. He always loves to insert drugs and weed.
There's always weed.
Yeah. He, by the way, a lot of his shit, little homages and pretty blatant homages to the entirety of different exploitation movies. So he likes to put sexual scenes in there. He likes to put drugs in there. He likes to put all the extreme things in there. He wants to make it real big and flashy and extreme.
I mean, we just saw Jonah, I don't know, like limb for limb. Yeah, dismembered, still screaming the whole time.
Yeah.
Good on Jonah.
Shaking.
Real strong life source.
Shaking.
He would have lived to 90 if he didn't get ripped apart. Because he was indestructible.
I want that on the tombstone. You would have lived to 90 if you didn't get ripped apart.
Yeah, blonde chicks like, fuck this.
If I ever die in a zombie apocalypse, please, and you bury me, please put that in my tombstone.
I'm going to write it down. Wait, we have it recorded.
Yeah,
on record.
We're good. You want the same thing?
I'm going to think of something else.
Okay, I think it's...
I'm going to go for something else.
So, now...
Here we go. Yeah. And then she figures it out. They get stoned. Let's get the fuck out of here. But,
so Daniel and Justine escape, because now all the villagers are high.
But fucking Spy Kids is like, I'm out of here. We didn't even talk about fucking Alejandro jerking off in the corner.
I'm about to say that. So Alejandro, before they fucking leave the cage, I guess, he's jerking it. Straight up jerking it. In the corner. It's a
great sound effect.
Yeah, in the corner of this cage. And he's explaining how he needs to relieve stress because that's the only way he can think clearly. And he's like, he does this whole thing where he's like, in great times of... stress, the body needs some relief. Like, I'm not even gonna try and do his accent. Something's making some fucking mad scientist-y.
You can come, or you can use the violence. And then Daniel's like, you son of a bitch!
Yeah, finally Daniel's fucking pissed
and then he's jerking harder.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
And then Spy Kid's
he chokes him.
Is just
Daniel
like,
chokes
I know
him, he
what
jerks
you're
harder.
doing. Yeah, Spy Kid's skin is like, yeah, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Dude.
So,
jerk off.
So now, Daniel
good time.
Daniel and Justine and Stoner Spy Kids guy try to escape. They leave the cage, and Daniel and Justine make it. They clear some ground, but unfortunately, Spy Kids dude Alejandro stabs him with one of the fucking poison darts that he has.
Yeah,
because he's a piece of shit.
Because I said you should save that poison dart. And someone did. Because I would use it to, like, poke at one of them.
Yeah, but why does the piece of shit stab him with the dart?
Because he doesn't want to die alone.
Well,
yeah.
It's just
or they might eat the redhead before me.
Yeah, they're going to eat him. He's easy access. He's on the outside of the cage. He is now in the worst situation possible. He is unprotected, laying on the ground, paralyzed, in a group of fucking high cannibals.
I didn't think he fell out of the cage. He was trying to get up.
He got out and then...
But no, he fell back down into the cage.
No, he falls outside of the cage. And the cannibals come up to him.
I didn't even see that. This movie's shot so weird.
He gets outside of the cage, and he's on the top. And Alejandro
so he falls off to the side.
And he falls off to the side.
And then he wakes up to a bunch of...
cannibals poking at him.
He said it. Alejandro said it.
He's like, thank God they're high. Oh, wait, they got the munchies. That's the best fucking line.
Is not going to work in this situation. Yeah, it totally worked. She totally... Whatever, go on. No, I don't want to ruin it.
So,
Wait a minute. I'm going to say it right now, and we can cut this out. But I can pee, and we can keep it going, or we can maybe cut to a break.
Okay.
Cut to a break? All right.
Hey gang, Charles here. Although I'm not a participant of this episode, I am editing it, and I am having a blast listening to it, even though I disagree violently with almost everything that they say about the Green Inferno. But do not fret, I will be posting my own half-hour little special episode later to tell you guys what I thought of this film, because it is much different than what Bria and Scott thought of this film. In the meantime, while Scott empties his bladder, let's listen to a little elevator music. I'm gonna play She Will Always Be a Broken Girl by She Wants Revenge, a synth group I've been listening to while I've been busting my ass and getting all of your packages to you in the intro.
It's a long walk, and the music is loud. She sees an old friend as she walks through the crowd, puts on her best smile, but underneath her she's a broken girl.
And we're back. So we had to take a bathroom break because we're not animals who shit ourselves in cages, nor are we trapped.
And I'm not used to this. I usually play like a song every 20 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, I can go fucking smoke a cigarette as I piss, but...
Yeah, usually the podcast that usually you have breaks,
yeah.
and this is not. This is
I was like,
in it.
Might add a little bit of a, personality to it if they just heard me peeing in the background as you keep talking, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was fucked up.
Everywhere. Has a comment.
Hitting the side.
Runs out of the bathroom,
yeah.
dick out, still pissing.
I wouldn't even wash my hands. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, the sound of the toilet in the background. I wouldn't even flush it.
All right.
For the sake of the audio.
Some peering into the lives of us. So now back to the story. So this is one of my favorite scenes. So we are at where the cannibals are now high. So the guy this was his plan. He decided to get these fucking fuckers high, and he has now been Alejandro poisoned him with a dart. He falls on the side of the cage. Cannibals come up to him, and at first he's like, "Oh, thank God they're still high because they're whatever. Now they're seemingly maybe easily manipulated, but that's not the case because now they have the munchies and they just start fucking tearing into him." Like he's a fucking steak dinner.
Oh God!
Fuck it, we're not gonna cook him. We're just gonna eat him now.
At first, he's like playing jokes with them. He's like doing a little hand trick. He's like
taking away his finger.
And then they're like,
"Cool,
hey, wait, guys! Oh my God, they have the munchies!
Yeah,
help me!" And Alejandro's like, "No."
Yeah. So one of the cannibals bites into him, and then he gets up, starts running off. He gains his footing. And he ends up in a group of them because where's he gonna go? He can't go into the fucking river. He's gonna die. You can't run into the forest. There's nowhere to go.
So he's running around. Everyone's stoned.
And they go up to
tribe,
him,
and they're just like ripping apart at him.
It is a scene from a zombie movie. It is a scene from.
Oh, it's like a scene from Willy Wonka where they first walk into the factory, and they're just like, "Oh my God, have whatever you want," and they're just pulling at him.
Oh, I didn't even think of that comparison.
Yeah.
I thought straight zombies.
Yeah.
So now they're ripping him apart, and that's how he dies. I love this death scene. It's probably my favorite death/kill scene because
it's like a zombie kill scene.
That's what I was just saying. He's being ripped apart, fucking zombie, but cannibal style. Because these people are not dead, so they're not zombies. They're hungry and they're high.
And Americans taste probably like McDonald's.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Do we taste like Big Macs?
We taste like bacon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we do taste like pork. Anyway.
That's what they were like, it's pork scraps.
So, jokingly, Alejandro did call this a Scooby-Doo plan. Scooby-Doo plan slightly worked. Because now Daniel
It definitely worked.
Well, now Daniel and Justine are slightly farther away from the danger. They go back to the crash site. And that is when they see all of the bodies are now impaled on
Amazon
spikes and they're hung up in trees because the tribe did this.
But we totally skipped around. Like, the Amazon is a harsh fucking place, and it's one wrong footstep, you're down the river in the fucking Amazon, whatever the fuck river. Finally, Daniel, a fucking hero.
Daniel saves Justine because Justine
but it's just a waste of fucking time because it takes longer to get to the crash, and therefore the stone tribesmen are able to catch up and fucking...
So what happens really quick with that is that they're running, they make it to the river, they jump on a rock, she jumps and she misses and she falls in the river and Daniel saves her. Okay, then they get into the forest.
Daniel!
They get into the forest where the crash site is. They get captured again. And what's hilarious, I actually really love the scene, is that Kara is the ex-girlfriend, not ex-girlfriend that died.
Bitch with the arrow?
Yeah. So she has the GPS in her pocket. So that's what Daniel's looking for. They get it out of her pocket. She falls off she's impaled on a stick. She falls off of that.
Hold on, that's a continuity thing because Daniel's running to grab it as he gets hit by an arrow and doesn't pick it up right away. So why was it in one of their pockets? Because he found it in the plane wreck. I remember that, and Daniel was going to grab it, and I was like, maybe he grabbed it and put it in his pocket. Maybe it was the cell phone that he had?
They find something in her pocket.
It's a fucking B movie at the end of the day. I don't think it's supposed to make sense. If you're trying to pick and poke.
Anyway, so Kara falls on top of Justine, and instead of screaming, which is amazing because that's usually the reaction that you get when people in horror movies.
I think she's seen enough shit.
Well, yeah, but people can't help the reaction sometimes. Anyway, so she doesn't. I just want to point out that it was amazing that she didn't scream. This dead body fucking falls on her. She doesn't scream. And so Daniel gets the body off of her, and then by that time there are all these tribe members. They get the
turn around.
They get the poison darts again. They get captured again. So they get taken back to the village, and now Daniel is they put him up on a big spike thing, and they rub all
Put
this
him on a pole.
Yeah.
And the warlord's breaking his bones with that fucking battle axe, just like breaking his knee, his fucking arm, and then starts rubbing that green shit all over him.
Yeah, the green shit that you come to find out later. green shit. Is some sort of
Toxic Avenger shit.
No, it's to attract the bullet ants. So it kind of plays into what I was talking about earlier because the anthropology teacher was talking about the ant ordeal. This is not really what happens with the ant ordeal. However, same type of ants. So this green mud thing that the warlord dude puts all over his body has some type of like pheromone or something.
It's probably the worst death.
Yeah, so these ants are attracted to it. They and these ants, by the way, this is the only part that's CG because you made a good point. Like, how the fuck are you gonna get real? How are you going to get real ants? There's no such thing as training ants.
Puppet ants.
Yeah. So they have these giant bullet CG ants rush all over this guy, all over poor Daniel's body, going into the orifices, stinging him everywhere. As she was being carted off is whatever.
For the final, like, virgin sacrifice.
No, it's to do the FGM. So she's now on her back, laying with her legs spread open. She's naked, mostly.
We see boobs, but
you see boobs. You see her side profile naked. And
if we had enough time, I would take it over to the side right now, and step away, and go to the side boob corner. Talking about the boobs that we see in this movie.
Would you like to introduce that really quick?
The side boob corner.
Side Boob Corner with Scott is going to be a segment that we're going to introduce where he actually has memorized almost probably every fucking boob titty scene in movies in general and can talk about them explicitly.
The Side Boob Corner, where I talk
These are full frontal though. This is not side boob. You see all the tit in this.
The best boobs are boobs that you should not have seen. As meaning, when you see someone like, help me out here.
All right.
The lady from Beetlejuice, boobies. No, Gina Davis.
Gina Davis.
That's a special moment. That's a special moment because she's a classy lady. And to see her boobs, that's like, ooh, that takes time and like patience, you know? And that's what makes horror movies great sometimes, is because you see a nude scene and one of those actresses are willing to take one.
That's all right. I don't know if you should use that. They're willing to take one. Willing to take what?
Okay, so
dick to further their career. That's
no,
what it
just
sounds like.
Doing like a nude scene because it's kind of like goes with the whole thing. It's like rock and roll, drugs.
All right,
horror,
all right. I hear you gearing up for a long one, and I'm going to go past this to summarize this movie.
We totally skipped the whole Spy Kids dick scene. I saw his shaft.
I know. All right, fine.
You saw the kids from Spy.
That is really
the
disturbing.
Spy Kid dick.
Earlier on, I skipped over it, but earlier on in the movie,
you grew up with that kid.
He goes out into the forest and he is trying to piss and he You see all
The
the
spider.
dingleberry, all the berries and the bits as he's trying to pee,
don't
and
see a
a
tip.
tarantula. You don't see a tip. You just see a little base and little balls. And tarantula scares him and he shoots a gun and everybody laughs and it's great. That's the only comic relief
I
you
think
get.
World's Greatest Dad, I felt like I saw his dick. And I found him naked with the belt wrapped around his neck.
But I want to believe you. So now we're at the scene where she's about to she's gearing up to be tortured. Basically, they're about to cut her clit off. And
Go
it's
on.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Hold on.
So they're preparing.
Go on.
You don't even have one of those. You're just holding your dick.
I'm stroking myself. Go slow. Continue.
Are you like Alejandro right now?
Go on.
Okay,
Times
we need to have a
stress.
conversation after
Times
this.
a great sense.
All right.
You gotta relieve yourself to focus.
I don't know why I'm dating you sometimes. Anyway,
Go on.
so she's laying down and they're painting her and rubbing her with white paint, whatever. And the elder comes in and is about to perform the
Yeah, getting the tools
mutilation.
ready, all the things.
No, it's not no tools. It's just her fucking claw finger, man.
That's what I was saying. She was scrubbing.
No, she
Scrubbed
wasn't
it.
doing shit. They don't believe in healthcare. Again, a reference back to it's a
She
good
put
day if
it
you make it to
underneath
30.
some fire. Saying it.
None of it.
I don't know what they were doing.
No,
Alright,
nothing.
go on.
She didn't do anything to it. She
They're
kept
probably gonna eat it.
She kept all the
Or
blood
make a
of her
potion out
enemies
of it.
and the blood of all the girls' vaginas on that finger just to I don't know. Just to continue. You don't want it. You don't wash it. It's like a weird what is that?
Earlier they
Black
rubbed it on
cats
her
and shit.
face.
Where you're superstitious. You don't want to. Anyway, so yeah, she did. She rubbed the virgin blood on her own face. Anyway, so how does she escape that scene?
So
she
what
rips
happens,
that girl's fucking
Well, what
nose
happens
piercing out.
in the distance? A tribal man screams, running with a construction worker's head.
That's right. He said
And
that.
then everyone's distracted. Oh, it's time for war. So everyone just goes and runs off into the forest to fight the bulldozers because they finally showed up. Alejandro was right. That son of a bitch.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so there's like a distraction with that, and then
Yeah.
the
and then
woman
the
that
fat lady.
the woman
yeah.
that was preparing her, she gets close enough, she rips out her facial piercing,
Yeah.
she bleeds everywhere.
Hell yeah, final girl shit.
She runs out. She's in her like bikini ceremonial thing that they put on her.
It's pretty hot.
It's kind of cool, yeah. The paint that she's wearing is kind of
Yeah.
cool too. She has like a red band over her face
Oh.
and over her eyes. And the girl that she made that connection with earlier,
The little tribal
the
girl.
little girl
We didn't
who
even
was
talk about her
mesmerized
this
by
whole
the
time, I
by
don't
the
feel
flu. No,
like.
I talked to her earlier with the
Oh, a
flu.
little bit, yeah.
Saves her, so it comes up to her and leads her out of there.
Well, wait. Rewind just a little. Daniel is like, take my cell phone and kill me.
Well, I'm about to get to that part. That's what's
My
next.
bad.
That's not before this. So the little girl is leading her out. They stop and see Daniel. Daniel's on the fucking... Yeah, this is nice. It's like, knock, knock. Hey, let's have some tea. This is, yeah, he's dying. He has now
Bullet
been
ants.
raped and
Yeah.
raped by bullet ants. And...
That's what you're going to say.
That's how I'm going to fucking say orifices being invaded.
Oh, man, they're like chewing his brain as we speak.
Yeah. They went up his nose and all of it. Yeah.
I'd rather be a Jonah.
Mummification. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
What would you...
Oh, I'm going to be Shaker-On.
Killing yourself?
Yeah.
Really?
Didn't get ripped
You're
apart.
a pussy ass.
Eyeball.
I'd rather be
Cut.
fucking Spy Kids boy.
No.
Yeah.
I'll be Daniel because he did the most
I want
honorable.
to go in a humorous way.
Daniel.
Fine, that's what it's gonna say on your fucking tombstone. I killed myself. Why is it way more
No, I
interesting?
said I'm Daniel.
People are gonna
That
have.
shit, girl.
Okay.
I was like, but she kind of... No, I want to be
She didn't even
lost
lure
out of the
anyone.
back end of the fucking plane and impaled on a tree.
So the pussy way out. Gotcha. Anyway.
No, just like me, like, oh,
Good to
I sat in
know
the
that
back.
if we're ever in that
I sat in the
situation,
back.
you will fold. Cool. I'll have to get us out. I'll be Daniel.
I
Take
sat
over
in
the
the
team.
back.
So now they get to Daniel, and he's saying, please kill me, please kill me. And the little tribal girl blows the zombie powder in his face and slits his throat, so he dies. Mercifully, rightfully so.
It was like the best way to die, other than the ants eating him, because he was unconscious and then throat slit.
Right. So
slowly.
now
Two
Justine
drinks.
is leaving, and Alejandro is begging to be let out of the cage. Like, please help me. And
You
she
fuck
just looks at
yourself.
him like, she doesn't say that, but she says it with her eyes. Just fucking leaves him there, like the piece of shit he is. And then she's escaping. She gets out. She encounters
The wall. Right?
She gets to the river. She follows the river back, and she's trying to get back to the original site of where they were with all the bulldozers. And she comes across
Follow the river north.
a jaguar that they saw earlier. The jaguar is next to the river, and she sees it, and
Holy
she
shit,
waits.
You're right. I shouldn't walk away from movies.
She wades through the river, and the tribal members who are chasing her stop and look at the jaguar and look at her, and they're like, fuck that, we are not fucking with this. They won't even, they're like, no, this is a sign. This is a sign from the forest. Yeah, so she wades through the water in front of the jaguar and gets to the other side, and she makes it back to where she is then saved. And really, in summary, it's cut to very end of the movie. She is now sitting with her father and a few other people who are representative of what is going on in this the fucking construction and the organization. And they're asking her about her time. And she completely, this is the turn of, well, not actual turn as in middle, but as in like, oh shit, didn't see this coming. She starts saying how she was saved by the tribe, and how everybody died in the plane crash, and she would have too if it weren't for these nice fucking villagers. And the reason she's doing this is because she is now saving them. That was the intent of the whole movie, is that she kind of stays true and she saves them.
Everyone died besides me. If the tribe didn't find me, I would have died out there.
Are you just using Alejandro's voice for every fucking...
They were the sweetest thing.
Yeah, basically she paints a picture about how they were very nice to her, they fed her, they let her out of the forest, they helped her.
Again, fuck that. Burn it down.
Green Inferno, the Green Inferno.
Those fucks.
By the way, the tagline has something to do with fire too. Which is funny.
My god.
It's like, can you take the heat? Is one of the taglines for Green Inferno.
Good one. Good one. Sounds like an action movie tagline.
It does. Sounds like an action movie. It sounds like Dante's Peak. Volcano. Sounds like things on fire. Action things on fire. So she lies
disaster.
about.
That's what we'll call it.
She lies about what happened in order to save them, and in the very end,
You're so brave, dog.
She has this nightmare about Alejandro where she's back at school, and he runs up to her and
hey, I made it.
Yeah, and then she covers her mouth, and then all of a sudden she opens up her mouth, and it's like these
cannibal teeth.
No, but they're not cannibal. They're like
because
like
I think the warlord guy had filed down teeth and maybe did the witch.
Either way, it's something that is not human. Yeah. Her mouth suddenly becomes just imagine like almost a shark's mouth, basically. It bites into him, and that's her nightmare, and that's the very end of the movie. Then about 20
her smart roommate. Are you okay?
Just had a nightmare. But then the very end of the movie, the 20 seconds into the end credits, what is it called? It's a stinger scene. That's what that's called, or whatever.
Oh my god, what was it, like a setup for a sequel? Hey, this is Alejandro's sister.
Okay, can I explain it? So 20 seconds, God,
ridiculous.
You're bad at this. 20 seconds into the fucking end credits, his sister fucked me up. Alejandro's sister calls Justine. It's just a phone call. All you hear is a phone call, and then like these weird satellite images that are on the screen. And Justine answers, and she says, hello, whatever. And then the woman explains how Alejandro is her brother, and she says, hey, I saw a satellite image with what looks to be my brother on it. We need to talk. And it shows a close-up of his face. Oh, yeah. Forgot one thing. Right before the very end scene, she's sleeping. She gets woken up again by a similar fucking group of organized protester people wanting to fucking do something. Oh, and they're all wearing shirts with his they're all wearing shirts with his face on it, but his face is like Che Guevara's face.
Alejandro, save Alejandro.
Yeah, so, and then the little teaser thing is, hey,
So
he
she
might
was
still be
full of
alive,
shit, yeah.
setting it up maybe for a sequel, which the sequel was in talks in 2016. They were off to bring it up. He said that there was going to be, and we haven't seen anything come from it.
Now we're going to get to the budget production.
Yeah, so some fun facts really quick, because now we're fucking time.
We're working our way there.
What's that?
I said we're working our way there.
Yeah, so a couple of fun facts about it. All of these people, all of the tribe members, this is actually a real tribe. I do not know the name of that tribe
This was
because
an awesome fun fact.
I think that they are keeping the name maybe away from the public eye, and rightfully so. They need their privacy. They're an actual. These are real people who didn't even know what a fucking movie was. Eli Roth, this is awesome. Eli Roth, he said that he okay, so they journeyed into the Amazon, farther into the Amazon than any other feature film had been shot. So right now they're in the, well, when they did this, they're in the fucking depths of this terrifying forest, right? They wander into, this is a real life situation. He got off a boat, wandered into this village, and had to explain to them what a movie was. And how he did that was he brought a TV and a DVD player and played Cannibal Holocaust and said, hey guys, what do you think about doing a movie like this? They all thought it was a comedy. They thought it was hilarious. They all agreed. They actually all voted. They actually all unanimously voted to do this movie. So the only people who are depicted as tribal members in the movie who are not tribal members, the little girl, Tatiana is her real name in real life, and the warlord dude, and the elder woman. They're all actually actors, actresses in Chilean, Peruvian, South American movies.
And that's his co-writer on this movie as well.
The warlord guy?
No, the co-writer on this movie is a Peruvian
director. He's done several.
Hence probably how the translation started for Eli Roth
he
to
had
get a
to
point
bring
across.
I'm sure he had to bring someone along.
Well, the co-writer.
But he does
you know
speak another language. I don't remember. But anyway, I think Eli Roth speaks Spanish as well. But anyway, So, this is crazy to me. He literally just got off the boat, wandered into this fucking village. It was like, hey, you guys want to be in a movie? And they all said yes. They thought it was hilarious. He was actually talking about how the little kids took to it the best. They were playing with these fake body parts. Oh, that's one thing we forgot to mention. When my favorite death scene.
Oh, just running away with the leg.
You want to explain it? Since you just ruined it?
Well, when they're ripping Spy Kid apart for the stoner snack.
The little girl wanders into the crowd. Like,
Scooby snack,
you know what it reminded me of? So, real life story, really quick.
He was the Scooby snack.
Real life, he kind of does look like Shaggy. That's hilarious. So, real life story, really quick. What that little girl reminded me of, because the little girl like wanders into this crowd, people who are feasting on this body, and manages to make off with his fucking foot/ankle. Just runs away, right? What's hilarious is, shout out to my fucking aunt, but you don't know this story. Black Friday one year, people are fucking diving for these stupid fucking camping chairs. They're like, I don't know, half off or something. And Black Friday is always a shit show anyway. I'm like 12 years old. I crawl underneath everybody and I pull out a camping chair and just run off with it. Just like that girl did with the foot. This is real.
The same thing. Except with a human leg.
Yeah, with a human leg.
Just like you, to compare your life to a horror movie, but not
fucking
a gore scene. Yeah, a gore porn scene. Yeah, gore porn.
But anyway, so that's a real
off
fun.
and common blood.
Yeah, man. We need to talk after this. So,
to a therapist.
So, fun fact is that's one of the coolest things. But also, you don't know this. This is my favorite fun fact. So while they were filming, these missionaries, I'm going to assume that they were from the United States. I'm not sure, but they were definitely missionaries. They're in a boat, and they're on the Amazon River, and they're trying to go to these different tribes to talk to them about the Lord. They see all these fake body parts, and they get louder. They have a megaphone, and they're trying to preach. And then they realize that they're on the set of this movie and they're obstructing the sound quality. and the crew comes out and looks at them, and the missionaries go, "Oh, okay, sorry guys."
If the plot would allow it, we would have added that in. That would have been perfect.
Dude.
But the fact that he went out and used an actual real tribe to film this has to be something
also
to really show how good of an actor he is. Or
kids got so
good of a director
into it.
he is. He really is a good director.
No, he's amazing. And he's also a really nice person.
All the haters out there can go suck it when they're just
all
like,
of the
he's
people
good as the bear Jew.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah, all the people
created
who
a
hate on
puke
Eli
meter.
Roth,
He created
suck
a puke
dick.
meter.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
But however, when people try to
Bark
critique
meter?
him for being excessive, that is his job. He is excessive for a reason.
And it's just kind of the things that he writes as well. Like, give it.
Okay, wait.
It's just him as the director.
I want to go back to some fun facts. So the kids got so into the movie. Not only were they picking up the fake limbs and playing with them, and they were
putting on fake
tattoos
tattoos and the skin.
Yeah, that's real. They were having so much fun with these props. They
the snake.
The snake.
Oh
it was
my
their
God,
idea to use a
scene.
real snake in one of the scenes, and that is a real. He said Eli Roth was like, if you freeze frame that, you see the snake's mouth with its fangs, and that's a real reaction. Right next to the head of that girl, of the one of the lesbian girl who slits her throat.
Poisonous?
No, and that's something that they. So the tribe, the kids who had this idea went up to Eli Roth and they're like, "Hey, we want to do this," and he was like, "Well,
did they speak English?"
No, there's a translator.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm assuming.
That's a dumb question for me, I think.
No, I'm just assuming, honestly. But anyway, so they explain how. They're like, no, it's a python. Eli Roth was like, Eli Roth is a very smart dude, actually, but he, like, looked at it, was like, oh, it's a python. And then one of the other crew members, other crew members was like, oh my god, you're gonna use a real snake? Isn't that poisonous? And Eli Roth was like, look at it, it's a python.
It's a constrictor, and it's a baby.
Yeah, it's a baby.
Yeah.
It's a ball python.
Yeah, these people just pick shit up like spiders.
But still, if you didn't know and a snake was, and you're in the Amazon, you don't fucking know, and somebody's holding a snake next to you, yeah, you're gonna be terrified.
Trying to talk to me about snakes. You know, talk about real life horrors. Working the other day, saw a snake. I was done.
You could have said this in your fucking segment.
That was like a month ago.
He saw a real snake. He got scared. We live in Texas.
I know it's just regarding the snake, but I was like, you know what?
Oh my god, another crazy ass fact. Listen to
Texas
this.
woods.
This is shut up. Listen to this. This is crazy as fuck. End of filming. Some of the elders picked a 2-year-old girl to give to one of the production designers as a present. And the production designer was like, no thank you, and politely declined.
Maybe you should accept to take this person away from this hell, this green inferno.
No, they're not actually cannibals, by the way. So
you don't know that? They thought it was funny.
They have no concept of movie or, like, you know.
That's the greatest thing. That makes me feel, like, really good inside when I watch this movie, that these people thought it was funny. And you told me that before I rewatched it today, and I was like, what a really good fun fact that real tribe, they were laughing about it, and these are real reactions. A lot of those people, like, what they capture is real reactions. And he only did this for, like, a $5 million budget, which is...
That's what I was just going to say, is the budget was $5 million.
Cheap,
it made $12.9.
Which is not good.
But that's only in the U.S. box office. It was in an international film festival, and then it was
released in 2013.
And then released in 2014 in Peru, then released
through
here.
that film festival, yeah, and then 15, and it was like in over 1,500 theaters.
Mm-hmm. It was for a short time,
right?
Yeah.
But the whole idea of these movies is supposed to be like $5 million, right?
Oh,
but like you need to triple or double, or not double, but like go way past it.
It premiered at TIFF.
Like,
it premiered at the International Film Festival, which is already an accomplishment. But I mean,
true, but Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 39.
Who the fuck cares? Don't ever get off the podcast. Don't ever mention Rotten Tomatoes.
You have
ever again.
IMDb on your phone, and it was like a 4.1 out of 10.
You know, it actually has like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's never been beaten.
What?
I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, but it was a few years ago. But I will fact check my stuff after this. But this was a fact. Hopefully, it still is. What's like one of my favorite horror movies of all time? What's one of the best horror? I'm not gonna make you guess. Nosferatu.
It's almost like a given, and it's a bunch of artsy-fartsy bullshit.
Whoa! Okay, we definitely need to have a discussion after this.
In the BANGover podcast, we always talk about like how like
it's not artsy fartsy. It was when film was being
get
created.
it, I
you
get
fuck.
it, but like
It's
critics,
German expressionism, silent movie.
It's critics, it's reviews and
I
stuff
will
like that.
stab you.
We're super fans. We're not
Anyway,
reviewers.
I will talk about Nosferatu in another episode. That will be heavy.
A heavy hitter.
I'm actually
not to steal anything from any other podcast.
I think
but
that
it's
I'm
gonna be,
actually going to do that in 2 parts when I do Nosferatu. But anyway, so getting to the end of this, let's wrap this up. So yeah, I think those are all the
Didn't
facts. Oh,
do
let's do
no part 2. Set up for a part 2.
Maybe. I mean, Eli Roth can always do whatever he wants. Like in my eyes, like if he comes out with a sequel now, fuck yeah, I'd go see it. If
And
he
most
comes out in
people are
10
just
years,
like,
I'll go see it. I don't care.
I think it's going to
It's the
age
true
well.
fans.
I think 20 years from now, people are going to go back and be like, Jesus Christ, you know? And it still does that.
Absolutely.
It still does that.
Because the thing is that if you show, let me just point this out really quick.
Gore porn.
Let me point this out really quick. So if you take Campbell Holocaust, right, and you show it to someone that is getting into horror, and you show it to them as the extreme, right? You take ends of horror, the minimalist, the intro being, you know, psychological thriller or whatever, and then you have that. It's like bookends. You have psychological, and then you have shit like Campbell Holocaust. I could easily do that with this movie, and that's how I am judging it. Is that if I wanted to show somebody, they're like, okay, I want the most extreme thing, and I want to dive into it, I could easily show them any one of Eli Roth's movies, including this.
Those are, in my opinion, some of the hardest watch it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I feel comfortable showing it to a fan who wants to dive into it like that.
A novice.
But prefacing it, again, with someone who is like, I want...
But if you can get them there, because there is a sense of humor with every Eli Roth.
How I watched Campbell Holocaust was when I was 15. I was 15 years old. I wanted all of the horror and everything. 15? Maybe I was younger. I think I was anywhere between 13 to 14.
Devil lady.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
I was watching
a serious talk after this.
I was watching it on VHS in Mike Drake, in Drake's basement. No, it was Drake's friend's basement, and he
was
said
it on a copy of a copy of a copy of VHS?
It was a
burned copy of a VHS.
No, it was recorded, like somebody recorded it on TV or something. I don't know how. I don't know why.
No, it had been like a dual tape deck, and they played the actual.
Alright, this is dumb. Let me finish. Anyway, so I watched I was that. What I'm telling you is I was that person who looked at Drake and he was like, "Hey, this is a lot," and I was like, "Give me all of it," and I fucking watched it and never looked back. That's why I fucking love this genre.
It took me a long time to watch Cannibal Holocaust because I got Netflix back in the day.
The turtle scene is the worst. I don't want to talk about Cannibal Holocaust.
I got like Netflix back in the day, and I actually I'm getting confused with something else, but I was able to rent it through Netflix because it is
Cannibal
one of those.
Holocaust?
Yeah, that's how I first saw
through
it.
like the mail.
Yeah, the DVD thing.
Yeah.
But I was trying to like see the Faces of Death thing, and it was like this
Faces of Death
bullshit.
thing. Yeah, let's just graze over Faces of Death.
But there was the real movies, I guess, and then there was like that guy that's doing a documentary, and he does go to one of those cannibal places.
I just want to say,
and then refers back to the movie, and he's just doing a catch by it.
I just want to say really quick, and we really need to wrap this up. But I just want to point out really quick, you can't judge me with a shit because you have Faces of Death on VHS. And to all you horror fans, you know what that fucking means. Judging me watching Cannibal Holocaust when I'm like a young teen and you have fucking Faces of Death on VHS.
Yeah, I think it was 15 as well.
See?
And that fucked me up.
We do need to talk.
But so is the beginning of Cannibal Holocaust where I was just like... It's
really bad.
Maybe worse than anything in this movie, to be honest.
You know what it reminds me of?
When they chopped off that dude's dick in Hostel 2.
No, it reminds me of Last House on the Left.
Yeah, that awkward ass rape scene.
Anyway, let's not. We're ruining things. So, I do want to do a couple of things that really quick.
How would you survive this?
I'm getting to that, but hold on. So, I really want to touch on it, because I made it a point earlier, and I will in probably every episode, the FX artists. I cannot celebrate them enough. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep making things fucking gory as shit.
Practical, use CGI when you have to.
Only when you have to. And for this, Ozzy Alvarez...
shout out.
He was one of the main special effects makeup artists out of 2. He also worked on Splinter. He worked on Aquaman. He worked on Logan.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he's great. And then the other
Logan?
guy... Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah, the other guy is Howard Berger.
The duck? Burger?
Yeah, but this guy, it's Berger. I'm assuming it is pronounced that way. Apologies if not. He is just a monster fan, man. He's just good at. He's done different. I can't remember the other movies that he's done, and I'm sorry, I apologize. But I got so lost in reading his little blurb about him on IMDb because it just talked about how he was just when he was a kid, he watched all the Universal monster movies, and he's like this well-known dude. And he did it. And if you look at him, dude, he looks like he's like a bigger, older Count Dracula. Like
he's like the guy shoveling snow in like Home
No,
Alone.
he's like really well dressed.
Oh man, Winters.
I want to pull up a picture. Where'd my phone go? I don't know. But he looks like really well dressed and older, and like has a well trimmed beard, and he like is wearing like a suit. Like he just looks like that guy that's like, put some blood here. Like, yeah, he's great.
I want to talk more about that guy, and you and Charles will probably definitely be talking about that guy in the future because if he's that good, he's gonna pop up in other movies.
Yeah.
But let's give the real shout out to the final girl. Actual like a Chilean. I can't even say.
She's either Peruvian or Chilean.
Yeah, that's what it said in her Wikipedia. But a model, actress. The first time I ever saw her was the movie Knock Knock. Did you ever see that movie? What a weird movie.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves is worst acting for sure. I was so disappointed, but the girls were creepy.
Too.
She's pretty, but like she always has like a bitch face, and
I don't think so.
she's been like in a couple episodes of oh god, it's too far past, but like a show, just one of those sci-fi shows that we watch all the time. I want to say Supernatural, but I know it's fucking wrong. But her face is that face that's just like, you know what I mean? And I think it was Knock Knock that really just made her seem like pretty creepy in my mind. To the point to where she doesn't really have an accent at all. She's not American. What a great actress, you know? Yeah. And it's her movie too, because it follows her the whole time. And she was actually in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So shout out, because there's a tie with.
She's also in a lot of South American
Eli
movies.
Roth and Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. You know, cult film indie directors.
Cult, exploitation, grindhouse.
Indie director.
And I'm speaking of not Grindhouse the movie necessarily, but yes,
and
totally
I think she's
I'm talking about Grindhouse,
actress.
like the actual genre.
I love her. I want to see her in more movies. This was definitely her movie for sure. And everyone around her was so good. Shout out to the actress that played Alejandro. I'm already done with this episode.
Okay, we need to wrap it up.
He was the real villain. You hated him more than the tribes people for whatever reason. You felt like it was his fault.
The white guy?
And not really the tribe's fault for doing what they do. At the same time, bulldoze them. Burn it down.
Make it a green burn down. By the way, the guy that plays Scott, even though you only see him like one time, he's the white guy that is the alt girl's boyfriend. Yeah, he's super pretty.
They only give the name Scott to assholes
so
and gorgeous people.
He's Argentinian.
You did a lot of research on this.
He's white, but he's white. He looks like you.
He had 5 minutes in the film.
What? What'd you say?
He had like 5 minutes in the entire film, right?
He had 2 scenes. He had one scene. Listen.
Why are you bringing him
up? He had
up?
2 scenes. Because
he's gorgeous.
If you let me finish. So he is in bed with the alt girl and says, "Yeah, trying to get some sleep in this bitch." You don't even see him, and then you see him when they're eating pizza right before Justine leaves, and you just hear him kind of complaining. He eats a piece of pizza, and that's how you see him. But the only reason I did any research on him is because it comes up on IMDb. His name in the fucking movie is Scott, like yours, and he's white, blonde hair, blue eyes, and Argentinian.
So
that's why I just looked at it.
I have a doppelganger out there.
He's very pretty.
I should grab my sword, which is right there, over there. I'll take a picture, put it on Instagram, and fight him to the death because there can only be one. All
right, now we're wrapping this up. So that is, that's Scott's stance on that.
My girlfriend thinks you're hot. Come out and fight me.
All right.
I'm watching a lot of anime. I've been watching a lot of anime.
Let's wrap it up. Okay, guys. So that was Green I hope you go watch it. It is on Netflix. I'm purposely picking movies. Huh?
Thank y'all for listening.
Thank you guys for listening. I'm purposely picking movies that are going to be easily available on a main streaming platform. Yeah, so this is on Netflix. Green Inferno, either off, wonderful movie. Please go watch it.
If you haven't watched it,
yeah, or give it a fucking rewatch.
It's great.
It's a great movie.
It's a good old, just like, make you feel weird film. From start to finish, it's classic too. It fills all the tropes, but it's very. I think it's gonna hold up over time very well.
So let's. You can do all your promoting.
Please follow us at We Are
Horrorible.
Instagram.
You can email us. That's wearehorrible@gmail.com with any questions, concerns, or comments. I'm gonna let Charles read through
it. Leave it below. Follow BANGover Productions.
This is under BANGover Productions. This is something that
YouTube. I always say this: if you listen to the podcast, follow the YouTube page because you'll find all the things. BANGover Podcast,
BANGover Productions. Look for that everywhere. Spotify,
local
YouTube.
Live bands that we've recorded. This podcast, that podcast, interviews with local musicians.
If you guys are into music, listen to the other podcast that Scott hosts and that I help with as well.
Birthday Party
BANGover
Podcast.
Productions podcast.
Birthday Party Podcast.
That's not what it's called. Stop saying that. BANGover Productions podcast. He's saying birthday because it's for albums that are it's an anniversary of an album. That's what it's mostly about. And then you do interviews with local musicians as well. If you want a little peek into Austin music scene, check out that. And then you can also follow my Instagram under Bria R. Beal. It's like BRB. Those are my initials. That's why I was born into this. I was raised as part of this. Go on. Your Instagram. What is your Instagram?
Scott Allen 133. You can see all the things I do. Sex Cult. I'm in a cult. And
no, Sex Cult is his band name, yeah.
Flooded Tombs, it's my research group
Flooded
where
Tomb,
we go and explore forbidden tombs and stuff like in
oh my
Egypt.
God. These are his metal bands.
In Egypt. I have a Sex Cult and then I have a Flooded Tombs
Stop saying it, don't promote
and then follow BANGover Productions on Instagram at BANGover Productions.
Cool guys, thank you for listening.
All the things we do.
And Scott, thank you for being my temporary co-host. I appreciate it.
Apologies to Charles again. I've listened to all y'all's episodes, and they're really good. And I hope I did just as good.
You did good. You did good. I love you. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Stay spooky, kids. Okay, bye.
And good night.